You're looking terrific.
Oh, well, thank you, guys. We're on to our second session here now. I'd like to welcome Alex Wright, who's the Partnership Manager of Shopline. We've got Latifa Cooper, who's a social commerce and live commerce expert. And Lottie Cunningham, who's a presenter, TikTok Shop live commerce specialist, who was formerly at a well-known fast fashion brand here in Manchester. So this is the second session. We're going to sort of drill down a little bit into the art of live commerce. And my first question to you guys, I might come to you first, Alex, is I want to talk about the evolution of it, right? But before that, I want to know what's the difference between TV shopping and live commerce, and how have we come to where we are?
Well, I think TV live shopping is quite a certain demographic, I think. I don't really want to mention how old they are on there. But to be honest, I think it was a great platform to launch a product back in the day. But with the rise of sort of live shopping and stuff, I think it's much more interactive, engaging. It's less one-way, it's two-way. You can actually get comments back from the potential customers. And it's a bit, you sort of have to, I think Lottie will be able to talk more about this, but as a presenter, it's a bit more sort of reactive rather than a planned script. So I think it's really exciting, it's a good opportunity for brands.
Lottie?
Yeah, 100%. So I would say like the interactivity side of live streaming is what is so different between that and TV shopping, because you've got a one-sided sell. Yes, especially on TikTok, I'm sure a lot of you have seen, there is that kind of urgency is still created. There does tend to be promotions that mean that things are at a discount. So you wanted to get them sort of there and then, which is very similar to TV shopping, but you've got your customer asking, and then I think it sort of helps bridge the gap, therefore, between retail shopping that you spoke about before being so popular and so important that people want to have that experience. I used to be a personal shopper, and having that audience be able to ask questions, not just request things as to which they want to see next, but also to be able to ask the questions about size, fit, kind of what you would style it with, and get something in particular for an occasion that they're shopping for, and having those questions be able to be answered in real time, it does, I think, bridge the gap, whereas TV shopping doesn't.
Yeah, you can sort of gamify it as well, whereas on TV you can't. So I think people just like to be engaged and entertained. And
TV shopping dead?
Well, no, the audience isn't dead yet, but maybe I should stop talking.
Well, just to piggyback off of what you all said, it's definitely that comment section, right? It's the comment section that makes it completely different, and I also think it's the price point, because I realize now with especially social commerce and like shopping online on an app or something like that, in comparison to how our parents did it back in the days, or that I did as I was sitting there watching it all day as a child, the live TV shopping. But I think it's the price point. Like online right now, it's a little harder because of influencers. I think a lot of people are used to being sold something where they don't know they're being sold something. And when you're on TV, you're able to see, yes, I'm selling you these diamond rings, and they're on sale right now. You know, it's $950 or something like that, as opposed to catch this $20 shirt really online.
So how have we come from that? I mean, I've never really looked at TV shopping. It does come on at night sometimes, the TV finishes.
Is that when you're getting drunk from the
Couldn't possibly comment. How have we got from that to where we are now, and what's the art change? I mean, is it the same sort of production team you need?
Well, I think it's really interesting. I'll give you a company that's doing it now. So Marks and Spencer's obviously got a very certain demographic at the moment, and they had to really change their business a few years ago because their obviously audience was moving on, and to way to target a new audience, obviously to be where most of the sort of new people are going through, which is social media. So they took a move to do live shopping. They saw they could do really authentic, raw content. It's a bit silly, a bit fun, but they could bring in like buyers, product experts, people that know the product, purely for a reason to talk about it. And actually what that's done is draw in a whole new demographic into their business, which is something like they've increased their conversion by like 37% compared to their website, for example. So that's really sort of a cool thing that we do.
And what I thought was interesting earlier, listening to Dr. Yo-Yo talking about the cultural difference. So obviously in Asia, I did a webinar several months ago about actually, I think it was called live shopping. I can't remember, doing so many stuff. And it was saying obviously that Asia took to this a lot quicker than Europe and North America. What's the driving force behind that, do you think? you know, do things sell better when it's presented in video, or do things sell better when it's live casted? What do you think?
Yeah, I think people are more likely to buy straight away if they can actually see the physical product. Obviously, if you look back in the day, people going to a retail store, they would see the product and buy it, because obviously they can actually see the product. So that's obviously that element's moved into a digital world. Obviously, Asia does shop very differently. Again, I'll throw another stat out because I love stats. But 60% of all transactions go through social media in Asia, compared to about, on average in Europe, it's like 15%. But it's growing every year. So we're following the trend. Obviously, people have seen viral videos online, what people are doing in Asia. I think there's that lady that literally just went, do you want this? Next.
Oh, yeah.
You'll make 15 million quid in 7 days. So people are seeing that there's an opportunity there. I think with especially UK businesses, they, you know, if it doesn't sort of have the return on investment straight away, they give up. Whereas social is about keep going, find what works for you and your brand, and then just keep, you know, investing in it. But it's time is the main investment.
Was that for real, that clip? I mean, does everybody know what we're talking about here? If not, I mean, we shared it on our feed, didn't we? And I honestly thought, I actually asked Mia, like, we take the piss here.
I think also their fault, I would say in the West side, we're kind of trying to be a little bit individual, like, you know, where it's like people will say, well, I bought it off of that woman's show that just flashes it up and I bought it really quick. I think the culture kind of has this type of, I don't want to say herd mentality. It's more so because there are so many people online constantly shopping. It's like they want to be able to say that I purchased something from this woman that's super popular and selling these things online, as opposed to here you want to say, oh, I was able to buy this product from this really special or exclusive site with this exclusive live shopper. You know, culturally I think it's probably a little bit different.
Sorry, Latifa.
I was just going to touch back on the point that you said earlier, just about how TV shopping and the production side, just quickly, because I think that is something that, again, for ease, you can have a full-blown production, you can have your OBS camera equipment, you can do your proper mics and everything, but you can literally sell from your bedroom at home or wherever, you know, just on the phone as well, which I think is what is so key to making this so accessible, not only for consumers, but also for your brands to be able to do. So yeah.
No, I totally agree. And I think as a business, obviously, investment of whatever you're doing, like paid and stuff like that, being able to track that data, you can't do that on TV. So being able to sort of really see an analytical view of your customer, how they're shopping, how they're interacting with your brand, is really valuable to you then using your email marketing. Because for me, if someone sends me something I bought a week ago, I'm not obviously going to buy it, but if it complements something I bought, or they really understand me as a consumer, I'm obviously going to go back and buy from that said retailer or brand.
So what specifically then is, I guess what I'm trying to get to, what's the driving factor behind it being live, as opposed to, I mean, there's obviously I've got a marketing background, as of many people in this room, obviously, you know, you talked about e-commerce, social commerce, we talked about obviously email campaigns, we talked about still images and social channels. What specifically about live commerce is what's driving this? I can see your hand going out.
I would say so my space is more so in wholesale and B2B, right? So Cheetah's a live shopping network for fashion buyers who want to meet and interact with up-and-coming brands and designers and ask questions and make the buying process a lot easier and fluid. And I would say one of the reasons why the live is important is because, for one, besides the sense of urgency, it's also, I think it helps brands with returns as well. I think it would cut back the amount of returns that people would make. Like if you're buying wholesale, let's say if I'm a small independent retailer and I'm buying for my boutique and I want to try out a new company, but I only want to get a few different products from it. I want to see that product on live. I want to see it on a person that's with someone explaining it, what it is to me. Because unlike if you're shopping as a consumer, you're shopping for yourself, which is a lot more personal. If you're a buyer, how many buyers are there in the room? Is anybody here a fashion buyer or any type of buyer? You are? Yeah, so you have a customer profile. You know exactly who you're shopping for, but you just need to see it. Move on someone, like see the garment, move on someone, see how they walk in it, how it can be styled, and how it can fit into the rest of your collection. So I think being able to watch it live, you're able to ask those questions and answer them at the same time, and it gives you a more educated decision when you're purchasing.
I think that's very similar for your everyday consumer as well. So from my experience presenting and hosting, I'm literally trying things on. You get the same questions. You want to know what material it is, how it fits, would you size up or down, and again, it's all of these things to try and help someone make that purchase that they probably aren't and then need to return it. You know, that the idea is that they want to be able to trust in what you're saying, and I think having that relationship there is very important then, because you are putting a face to your brand, and by doing that you need that person to trust. We're talking a lot about influencers. By doing a live streaming, whether it's with an influencer or with someone from your brand, or that person, as far as the consumer is concerned, is representing your brand, especially if they're selling and they're talking through the quality of the product, you need to be able to sort of have trust in them, and you want to believe what they're saying, because otherwise you're just going to get a load of people that are coming back. And with the live streaming, you've got the comments from previous customers that are there, and they're giving that, oh, I bought this last week and it was great, I love it, received it. And if they're coming back with negative comments consistently, you're not going to get new customers.
So it sounds like to me like it's the interaction.
The interaction is key with the live streaming, yeah.
Okay. Latifa, I can see you.
No.
I feel like I maybe went off topic there, sorry.
Okay, so we're kind of doing a bit of a live stream thing here, aren't we?
Basically.
Speaking of which, I did forget to mention who sponsored this session, which is obviously Alex's company, Shopline. So do you just want to tell us briefly why you sponsored this session, but also tell me what you do and who you'd like to meet as well today, quick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we sponsor because I love a drink, and I think everyone else in the room probably wants to drink quite soon. But yeah, no, we love the Fashion Network. Our ICP, which is like your customer profile, is fashion, beauty, lifestyle. I think that's really complicated. Sell online or need to tell a story, that's where we really excel. So we work with brands like Chanel, Lego, All Saints, ASICS, got about 500,000 customers in Asia. But the company's been going for about 10 years. Again, one of our core sort of pillars is social commerce, because like I mentioned earlier, everyone shops on social media in Asia. So we went on a sort of global expansion into Europe, Australia and US last year. But what we've done really different to other platforms is, again, there's probably quite a few companies on Shopify or Magento or really old ones like Salesforce, is we've looked at an opportunity because SaaS, software as a service, is moving forward. So obviously all the maintenance, hosting, developing gets taken off, and obviously we take on that responsibility.
And you do a lot of the live commerce space.
And we do a lot of the live commerce space.
And your colleague is sitting with you.
Yeah, do you want to wait?
Just wave your hand, right? That's the picture.
Yeah.
So anyway, so my next question is basically, I was interested actually you talking about stories, because that's something in my career in marketing and to sort of connect over the last few years actually, how important storytelling is to building a brand, you know, and whole customer interaction. Nobody mentioned YouTube at the first session. How important do you think that is as a platform? And then I want to come on and talk about other platforms that are good for live commerce.
Yeah, I definitely think, well, in my business model, I plan on really utilizing YouTube more so than anything else, just because of the demographic of who an average buyer is and how they shop and what they need to see. But I do, and I think that right now, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube doesn't have the shopping capability outside of Japan or something like that. I don't know if you guys know that, but you can't shop live on YouTube yet. And I also would wonder why. Like, I think it would be the best platform for live shopping. It gives me that QVC thing that I've been looking for, you know, and that probably everybody else is looking for. I actually watch YouTube a lot, more so than TV. I have it on my television, and I know I'm not the only one. That's why the app is on there on most of our televisions too. So I do think that when they do dive into it, they're going to really be the forefront runner, I think.
I think each platform has its place depending on the brand, their customer audience. Obviously, YouTube's a lot longer formatted content, so it's probably more technical products, like technology products. But yeah, I think there's a place, and I think people are looking at it more.
So, what would you say is the best platform then for live commerce at the moment?
It's such a wide answer
Right.
for that one, I think. It depends what you want to do. Obviously, I think lots of people have touched on it before.
Fashion apparel, maybe?
Yeah, fashion. It's obviously TikTok for fashion, more that needs to talk about the product story. If it's like makeup, obviously applying it. I'm not a makeup expert, but take the word for it. But yeah, stuff like that, basically.
Lottie, do you want to answer that?
I mean, yeah, so my experience primarily is live streaming on TikTok. I think it's great for fashion. You're seeing a lot of new brands still coming onto it. There are restrictions, unfortunately, and so TikTok as an app doesn't let you speak about the website. You'll get a violation if you try to redirect traffic elsewhere. On TikTok, so yeah, so if you do discuss the website or you mention your brand.com, because obviously at the moment TikTok is only in the UK, so TikTok Shop is for UK customers over the age of 18. If you have got people tuning in from elsewhere, they want to know if they can purchase the products, you have to very carefully go around that answer. You can't say, yeah, actually we ship worldwide on our website, because they'll still class that as redirection of traffic. So you'll get violations, and then you'll be you won't be able to go live streaming wherever they sort of have certain rules. But I think as a platform, it's still great. It's great for growing your brand as well. Obviously, as we've spoken about, it's not just about revenue. That's not the only kind of thing that you should be looking at. You're looking at building a following. Again, it's that brand awareness. You're reaching an entire new audience. So someone that goes to your website is making a considered purchase, but you're going to reach an entire new audience on TikTok because there are so many users in the UK alone that can purchase there, that are then like scrolling, they're being fed that. The average like UK user opens the app 19 times per day, and you think, so each time if they're scrolling, they might see a live stream. Obviously, it's a much more saturated market now, but you're still gaining new people all the time.
So, sorry, you going to say something?
I was just going to say that, again, another fact, but 73% of small business owners really like the algorithm on TikTok. So again, that's helped to obviously reach new customers. So there's definitely an opportunity there, but I think it's consistency of content and just basically trial and error. I think with TikTok, see what works for you.
Would you say at the moment, TikTok shopping, TikTok is the platform for live commerce at the moment? Do you think that if you're not on it, you should be on it, or at least be experimenting with it?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Can I just ask the audience, how many in the audience at the moment who are selling, are on TikTok shopping? 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're trying to get on it.
They're trying to get on it, yeah.
It's tough.
What? Because it just...
I don't know.
Sorry, the ones that put their hands up, success stories, what's working, what's not working?
What I found with TikTok Shop is that it depends on the products that you're selling. So it is a matter of testing things. Because we're promoting like one range basically of products, and something completely different than when we promoted was actually selling better. So when we went live, we then started promoting those products, and it turned out a lot better. But you can sell things in like 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Literally, it's just a matter of and actually. A lot of you actually recommended me to go on there from the last event. And yeah, it worked really well. So it's just a matter of trial and error.
What sort of price point do you have?
So with TikTok Shop, it really depends. It depends on the product you're selling. If you're selling things like coats and jackets or something like that, you could probably sell those at much higher price points. People are used to buying them at higher price points. But if it's things that people can buy quite cheaply, then you're much better on the lower price point end. So it really depends on the business. But at the same time, getting instant validation from customers, whether they actually like or not like something, can be really, really helpful, because you can use that in the marketing and know that, okay, people will buy this if I now get it out to a lot more people. And when you join a live stream, they're constantly bringing, basically TikTok uses ways of testing certain audiences. So they'll give you like 200 people. And if that does well, they'll then add more and more, and then they go up these different tiers basically, all the way up to like thousands and thousands of people. Great.
Very cool.
It's Lottie, we had a conversation before over the phone about it. It's quite interesting, and I think what we hit on, and I spoke to an e-commerce manager from a quite big brand, I won't mention who, but they were saying they had difficulty getting onto TikTok. There was some technical difficulties trying to integrate it with their site. The other thing what he did say was actually the good thing about it is that it's all in the TikTok user experience, so you don't have to go out and not being diverted away like certain other social channels.
So yeah, everything, I mean, as you touched on earlier, just it's within apps. You're not leaving the app to purchase. You can literally watch the live stream, click the basket, add your product, and you check out whilst you're still watching. And what's crazy about TikTok is actually, if you go off it, you can still watch a live stream whilst you're like WhatsApping someone, and it'll keep your the live stream up in the corner of your screen. So literally, you can be watching that whilst you're doing other things, and if once you see something that you want, and you can just check out there, and then you're not having to redirect people. So there's pros and cons. Obviously, they're not then going to the website and adding more to the basket. So if you want to get a higher AOV, you might want to put your shipping to be free over a certain amount, so they add more to their basket. because obviously you're losing out on people adding and seeing other things on site. However, you're less likely to lose that customer because the journey is so direct.
You were nodding when I was talking about integration being tough.
Oh my
You were
gosh.
nodding profusely. I think.
I hope there's somebody who works in TikTok properly here, because it's gotten a lot easier now, but about 2 years ago when they first started kind of laying TikTok shopping out in the UK, you had to go through about 4 different different websites in order to just set your shop up, and it took a long time for it to go through, and then when it finally went through, you couldn't add a link and this, that, and it was all kind of stuff. It still is a little bit, it can be a bit difficult because you can't interact with anyone ever. You can never ask any questions. Nobody will ever answer you. But eventually they will get to you, you know? But I will say, if you're a new brand, an up and coming brand, and you're still getting to learn your customer, doing live shopping and using a platform like TikTok will help you understand who your target audience really is. Because when I was opening my boutique at the time, I felt that what I thought my customer profile was is different from the customers that actually engage with my content online, especially on TikTok, which is the way that I wanted to go. So I think, like he was saying before, it depends on your price point too, but you may think that, oh, well, my price point's gonna work better on an Instagram or on a Facebook or something like that, but you'd be surprised that there are a lot of baby boomers on TikTok, and they have the spending power to buy things that cost a little bit more, and they do spend a lot of time on there. So it's not something that to completely X out too. It's a learning experience for everyone on there.
Do you want to mention anything about the integration aspect of TikTok and Line? I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of these things are going to get ironed out as people start moaning and groaning.
Yeah, well, luckily you've got Shopline.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah, so I think, it's a nightmare trying to manage several social media platforms. Obviously, Shopline, it's one platform, you put your logins in and all the data goes to one point, which makes it super easy to push data out if you're pushing product data, page data, whatever. But the most valuable thing is getting all that customer data back in one view, so you can be more strategic with your marketing, and that's one of the things we do really well.
How much of a big deal is TikTok shopping? Because that's all I've been talking about last few weeks. Different people. Lottie, or anyone actually, how much of a big deal is it?
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's kind of a big deal.
It's growing still as well. Like I said, there's some huge brands that are coming on. Like we had, I used to work for a fashion brand, and we had some issues with kind of lingerie and swim restrictions. But Lounge have literally just done their first live stream ahead of Valentine's Day. So you're getting some, like Lounge is growing as a massive brand. This, like you must have seen, they're opening stores left, right, and centre. Lounge underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just
started off at some of our early events.
Yeah. So I feel like as a brand that's really grown in the last couple of years, and seems to this year really taken off more so than ever. And they've just started launching their TikTok shop. I think even if you're not doing live streams, just having your products on the platform. So there is the live stream feature. There's also the fact that you can then tag the products in every video. So when you're putting your normal videos out there, instead of having to just tag a product that redirects, or you put your product code in, someone can actually click the link and they'll shop it from that video, and then you can see exactly how many of those sales have come from that video, how many products in that video were shopped. Like all the data is just there, so it's so easy. The same with influencers. There's an entire affiliate creator program built within TikTok that you can use as a brand to go and find who you want to be working with. The samples can be sent out. Like it's just crazy how easy they've made it for brands to use. So I think it's not going to be going anywhere. They're consistently making changes to it. Some for the better, some that make it slightly harder, and like the restrictions with the website, etc., the violations, but they are making everything kind of, and we talked about YouTube, but they're actually looking to make landscape videos a bigger thing on TikTok, so they're trying to take over that as well, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
This is on the cusp of conversation.
Yeah.
In terms of live streaming, is it all about TikTok and normal? What other channels are out there worth looking at? Do you think? It doesn't sound like there is.
Instagram Live as well, so it depends on the
You
brand.
don't shop in that platform, am I right?
You can shop.
You can.
Yeah. So live, and we've got a really cool tool where you can do live streams from your website as well. So if you've got an audience already, then obviously you can be more targeted who you're trying to talk to as well.
if you have to choose, if I said to you, you have to choose which channel you want to put all your eggs into, which would it be at the moment, TikTok or Instagram?
Again, in terms of the brand, but I hate TikTok. It's just too big. Yeah, no, I think Instagram's great because they've obviously lots of different functionality. Obviously, TikTok, as a smaller business, it probably has more value because you don't need to have loads of followers to actually go viral and obviously sell loads of products. So it really depends on the size of the business, but those two are probably the main ones.
The main, especially for fashion and fast movement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, did you want to say something?
No.
So I just want to move on a little bit. Before I do, when we were talking on the phone, we were talking about TikTok. It's been a great place for brands to sell directly, but also you can say you can share their inventory on there as well, so that it's quite easy for other content creators to sell your brand through the brand. Is that right?
So yeah, sorry, I touched on that just before. But if you are a creator, you can then, like, TikTok offers commission. So obviously, if you're in the influencer marketing, you'll know. But instead of going out and directly kind of trying to reach different audiences and influencers to see who's going to work with, you can literally set it so that there's an open plan. For example, the 10% commission, so that anyone on TikTok that is a creator can then ask for a sample or purchase your product themselves. Then they'll tag it in their own videos, and if they sell it from their video, because it's so clear that it's linked from their video and the sale came directly from that video, that creator will then get 10% or however much commission you set as a brand. So you can generate revenue very organically, like someone, like, you know, you could go out and buy a coat and then say, oh, okay, I'm going to actually just do a quick video about how I'm going to wear this, tag it, and if 3 people buy that coat, they earn commission, but also the brand is then earning revenue, and at the same time, you're seeing, actually, we thought that was the kind of influence we need to work with, but this is where our revenue is being generated. So it's so easy, like I said, to sort of get the stats right there to look at and go, right, this is who we need to be working with, and this is what's working, and this is what's selling.
How many people in the room aren't doing live shopping but considering it? Okay. I want to move on a little bit about customer expectations and customer behaviours. Do you notice how the things differ in terms of when the customer interacts with you on the live shopping channel?
The one thing I will say is I think at the moment the way that TikTok is working is they're expecting discounts. So and I think that is something that the narrative needs to change on that they're looking for discounts, and at the moment there's a very hard sell of a marketplace style kind of. I hope that changes, and I think it will do.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I wish would go away.
It's draining.
It hurts. It's like, can you get this right now? And they're screaming at you and holding something up. And I mean, those of us who love our good old QVC and Home Shopping Network, why can't we have a stage and a set? And and they push the companies that have very clear and great video quality and content, because a lot of people are set up and ready to do that. I think it's about time that live shopping starts to not feel like, oh, I need to grab this 20-pound piece of whatever that's going to end up in a landfill, off of this site, or I can get myself, you know what, there's an influencer that's selling these really high quality, one-of-a-kind, boutique-made jackets, and I want to see her wear it. I want to, and I want to see it in the showroom, like something really nice. It would be great for it to not feel like that.
I think it depends on the strategy as well. So M&S, for example, they're doing more third-party brands, so they can quite easily see their sort of premier customers and do sort of closed live streams, which then makes the customer feel a bit more valued. Then obviously go back and buy more, and that won't be a discount, or it might be a special.
Does that live on their platform, or is that on social?
So that on social, whatever social channels they want to use, but